Hi Baes, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, welcome. And if you are a new member, please do subscribe because we have a lot of fun over here. We have a lot of bookish fun over here. So the OGs know that this is where the channel began, where I'm sitting on this couch. This is where it all began. Since then, I've been filming a lot in my bedroom, maybe other places, depending on where I am. Let me just fix that right there. But this was the location pin, Sila. So yeah, I just decided that I'd actually use this space here. Sorry that the lighting is a little bit consistent. I'm trying to make use of the sunshine for as long as I can because we are actually experiencing load shedding. But I really wanted to get this video out to you guys, so I said, you know what, let me just work with what I've got. This video is a review video. Finally, I've definitely been reading, but I haven't been reviewing. So, you know, you can't have one without the other. When you call yourself the book bae, you have to actually put out the bookish content. You can't just be sitting on the books. Since we've last spoke, I've completed Ayobami Adebayo's A Spell of Good Things. One of my favorite authors. I love her so much. She released her debut novel about 2 years ago, I think, called Stay With Me. I also have a review on the channel and I will put it up here somewhere. I forget which side it goes, but there'll be a card. So if you're interested in that, please do check that out. And then I've also read Sunyati's An Angel's Demise. So in this video, I'll be talking about A Spell of Good Things, just because it's the most recent book that I've completed. It's still fresh in my mind. I've still got all the juices flowing, all the knowledge right here. So yeah, if that is something that you're interested in, please do stick around and let's get into the video. So just to start off, generally I always warn people who have watched my videos that this just might be a spoiler, you know, because I like to discuss a lot of the themes and a lot of the book in detail. So with that comes a lot of discussion with regards to what actually happens in the book. So it follows two different families in Nigeria. So it's kind of like a story, I guess, of like the haves and the have-nots situation. And the first protagonist that we follow is called Iniola, and Iniola is the son of a teacher who lost his job due to economic instability in Nigeria. He's a teacher, and after that he kind of falls into this depression, and it kind of falls on his mother to become the breadwinner and to handle things in the household with regards to him as well as his younger sister Busola. It's quite sad because you can really see that the evidence of depression that his dad goes through, and just watching that, it's quite of a challenge because his mom is not necessarily educated. She didn't finish school, so it was a challenge that she just had to kind of figure out, like picking up odd jobs and that type of thing. So that was quite an interesting dynamic. So they really have to do the best that they can. They have to resort to a lot of things, like at some stage they were begging as a family. And then we've got the haves. Dr. Wurola and her family, and exceptionally well off, you know, the people that, you know, they're rubbing shoulders with politicians. Wurola's dad is a senior person in the community, a business owner with multiple businesses and connections that get him, you know, in the door type of thing. And just another apology for this light. I see that it seems to be moving this way. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'll even post this video because, yeah. But I'm going to continue. I think for the most part, like overarching, I related to Dr. Wura the most. Let me tell you why. She is a 28-year-old African daughter. So if anybody knows anything about me, I'm an African daughter, duh. But I'm also turning 28 this year, yay. Just the things that she went through with regards to her family, expectations, her relationship, how she is engaging with the world around her, what's happening. She experiences the death of a very close friend of hers. And yeah, I think I could just maybe relate to her level of just that area when you're in your 20s, when you're just kind of like starting to like, you know, really venture into the adulthood versus just being like a young adult still trying to figure out things and being at the precipice of things. You are more in it, but still quite at the beginning, but just more Sorry about that. We had a little bit of a breakdown we had technical difficulties. So if the lighting has changed since then, you know the vibes. Right now we are at the mercy of ISCOM. So just going back to what I was saying, the storyline basically, it you know when you can't, there's overlap between the two protagonists. So when you kind of look at the contrast between how the different protagonists live their life and like what the issues that they face surrounding them, and in the context of a volatile Nigeria, which is, I think when you look at the politics of a country, you always kind of look at that is where the power lies, right? So the haves are definitely going to be associated with the proximity to power, proximity to political decision making, and the have-nots are the people who bear the brunt of that decision making and often find themselves in vulnerable positions based on that. So that's just, you know, an overarching synopsis of the book. With regards to the themes that I identified off the top of my head: poverty, family, the dynamics of an African family specifically, the thirst for education and the benefits of education. Abuse is also a theme in the book. At what lengths you'll do to please people around you. The idea of self-sacrifice as well. What is the line that you draw when you decide that you want to actually just go beyond helping versus negatively affecting yourself? I don't know if I can, basically just the idea of self-sacrifice and what is your limit as an individual. I would recommend this book to anybody who liked Adebayo's first book. I enjoyed this book. Not necessarily what I expected, and that's a good thing. I think that was a great thing, because complete separate story from Stay With Me entirely. Different set of characters, different subject matter altogether, but the same rich writing. I found that at some stage I wasn't sleeping while reading Stay With Me, but I wasn't necessarily that invested in the story. Although I loved the story and I enjoyed reading the book, you know, I think I got to that moment where there's kind of that barrier that you break between, okay, I'm getting into the story, I'm meeting the characters, now I'm in it. I liked the book. I think in terms of my rating, I would definitely give the book a solid, I'd say 7 out of 10, maybe 7.5. 7.5 out of 10. Why? Because like I said, I enjoyed the writing. I enjoyed the story. I think that it was well researched. I think that it was well contextualized. It made sense, just the overlap, the way that the author did that was really intelligent. I enjoyed that. I think she put a lot of thought into it, which I appreciated. So I think anybody who enjoys African literature will enjoy this book. I think anybody who enjoys story of love, who enjoys the story of overcoming, but also, I don't know, the only thing I think that really brought down the score of the book in my from my perspective is the ending. I felt like the ending didn't give us much closure, and I'm hoping that means that we'll get a sequel, but you never know. I think that's up to the author. In terms of the narration, though, it was an omniscient narrator, so we're able to have an intimate understanding of what is the decision making when it comes to each individual's characters, challenges, and belief systems, the story of overcoming. I think that ultimately it ended the way that it did because it's just kind of like an allegory of the fact that a lot of these things, a lot of the subject matter that is dealt with in the book are not things that are going to be over. You know, it's systematic things. It's things that will take a lot of time to overcome. It's things that everyday people deal with. So that means that the story can never be over. Perhaps that is like the deeper meaning. Obviously, here I am trying to read deeper because that's what you do, English major vibes. Yeah. If you haven't already, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I don't know where I'm looking, like I'm looking all over. So I'm hoping that it's not too distracting. I'm hoping that I gave the people what they want. And let me know, what are you reading? What did you think of this review? What do you think I should read next? And yeah, bye for now.